Welcome to episode 46, Lost Signals. I'm Daryl.
I'm JD.
Lee is away on assignment this week.
Yeah. Make sure you put some coconut Timbits in there, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and get me a 6-pack of something too while you're out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's pretty
Me
much
too.
Yeah, got to. That's how you been, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm just fucking peachy. Just,
You sound fucking peachy.
well, just got off night shifts. Night shifts
Okay.
are fun, and it just a weird day.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's hot here now. Jesus. Like it was like 26 degrees today, which is nice.
Yeah.
But
No.
actually, in the time since we did last episode to today, I just re-listened to part of the last episode so I can remember what we were talking about. And at the beginning of the episode, I said, yeah, the weather finally broke and whatever, everything's fine. Yeah, we got a massive snowstorm right after that.
That's what you get for talking about the weather.
I know, it's fine. But actually, yeah, it's so well, it's so hot here now and so dry, like there's fire bans and shit, which isn't
Yeah.
good.
No.
But yeah, no, it's hot out. It's hot in here because my computer's running and shit. But
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. It's a nice change.
It is. Yeah. No, it's the same thing here. Like it hit 25 degrees today. And yeah, since last going live on the show here, it went from just dipping below freezing to consistently positive single digits overnight, which is great. I mean, a lot of the snow is starting to melt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've already had a couple of fires in town, and all of them are inexcusable. So
Just people doing stupid things.
people doing stupid things.
Yeah.
It was last weekend. I was working because I work weekends
Yep.
on air, and there's a plume of black smoke coming from downtown, and so I call up 911 and I go, yeah, hi, fire department, please. Can you blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the fire? I said, I am at this location and I am looking southwest and I can see the fire and it's past this street. And they said, oh yeah, we're getting another phone call about it right now. It's 5th and Ottawa. There's a homeless encampment there. I went,
Jesus. Oh,
fine.
Good.
Well,
Good.
I'll leave you be.
Yeah.
So,
It's not good. You guys still have snow up there, really?
like in the shady areas,
Yeah.
sure there are, but yeah, a lot of the snow is gone away. Like it's full street sweeping and city cleanup operations these days now.
Yeah, it's same here. Like it's all the snow is gone. Yeah, except for in a few spots like in ditches or on like the north side of like tree lines and shit. But I'm
Yeah.
just glad it's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a long fucking winter. Then I'll get 3 days of summer and then mosquitoes and construction starts. I'll get
That's already started here.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
already into construction season.
and I'll get my 20 or 25 rounds of golf in, and then it'll be winter again.
I plan on getting some golf in this year.
Well, if you're out here for AEW in July, we'll definitely have to go.
Yeah, well, it's not if, it's when.
When?
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
when.
But no,
Yes.
we'll definitely have to do that. There's a couple. They're really good golf courses around Saskatoon. So
I look forward to it.
we've never really talked about golf on the show, have we? I'm a semi-avid golfer. I'm not good by any stretch of the means, but I like going out. you
Yeah.
know?
As am I.
Yeah.
When it asked like, well, how good of a golfer are you? I'm like, I don't know.
Not.
I am of the caliber of whack fuck. Like if it goes straight and in the direction I want it to, it's a good shot.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, that's about average for me.
Yeah. I've literally spent tens of thousands of dollars on a sport I am not good at. Like $1,000 on a set of clubs, and like you go once or twice a week, and then then the beer on top of it. It's a very expensive sport, but I mean you get outside and you don't do a whole bunch of walking, kind of just ride around on the golf cart and drink a beer, but
Wow. I honestly, of all the golfing I've done over the years, which again, granted, is not a lot. I don't think I can't recall ever renting a golf cart ever.
Oh God, no! I can't. I can't do it. I mean, I
Really?
could. It's just that it's a long walk. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Even a par three, it's a long walk.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And I find like especially in the course that I go to, like people walking really hold up. And when they're trying to push, like tee times every 9 or 8 minutes, people walking really slow down the pace of the game, I find.
Yeah.
So, and I've golfed some courses where you cannot, like you can't walk it. Like that Furry Creek in Squamish.
Okay.
You cannot walk it because the first hole is on the side of the mountain and then you go down onto the inlet. Like it's just not. They won't let you.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Well,
I don't care what your Fitbit says. It's not fucking happening.
Yeah. Anyways. So I guess on the sports talk, the Toronto Maple Leafs made it out of the first round for the first time in 6,948 days.
You couldn't just say, 15 years?
It's 19 years, actually.
19? Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And lots. I mean, we don't talk about hockey a whole bunch on here, but like, I've been a Leafs fan since I was a kid. I mean, I've never been like a really vocal about it, and I don't watch a lot of games like front to back. I'll watch highlights. I'll follow along. I'll watch the news about it and shit. So this last series, they were playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. I watched the first game.
Blowout for Tampa Bay.
The Leafs got shit pumped. So I immediately decided that I will not be watching the games unless they're up 5 goals with 10 minutes in the third, which did happen the next game.
Yeah. You hurt me the first round. Fuck you. You better make it back.
Yeah. So I just decided that I'm not watching the games unless it's, they have a substantial lead. So yeah, I didn't watch any. I watched the highlights and stuff afterwards, and I checked my phone to see what the score was and stuff, but I can't. I'm superstitious like that, and I don't know why. It's dumb. Like I'm not like that with football. Like we've talked about this before. I'm an avid Ryder fan, and I will watch every minute of every CFL game. But when it comes to hockey, I just can't. I don't know why, especially when it comes to playoffs. Like my team's in it, I get nervous. It's weird. Like it's just weird shit. So I don't know. But,
no. You're talking to a lifelong Vancouver Canucks fan. I know that feeling.
But the difference between the Leafs and the Canucks is that the Canucks have made it to the Stanley Cup final in the last 15 years.
True.
Is
very true.
I think the last time that the Leafs were actually in a Stanley Cup final was 1967, the last year that they won.
And it's such a long time ago that's actually still a valid fact in a Tragically Hip song.
Is it?
Yeah. 50 Mission Cap.
No, that's you're thinking. That's Bill Barilko. He scored. That was the 1951 series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I get your train of thought, but the last goal he ever scored won the Leafs the cup, but he died.
Right.
In 51.
Okay. So fair enough.
No, I don't think the Leafs ever made fun of, or that the Hip ever made fun of the Leafs, which is weird. Like, it's weird because Gord Downey was a fucking Bruins fan.
Of all teams.
And I fucking hate the Bruins. Like, I don't know why, but I as a Leafs fan, I don't like the Bruins. But
yeah, but I get the superstition, but at the same time, the 94 series for the Vancouver Canucks, I watched every game. And if anything, you can blame my father for being superstitious because he would pull me out of school so that we could make it home on time, beat traffic to watch the Canucks game.
Really?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't just go to the game?
Well, no, this was like this was the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh,
so this is when they were playing in New York.
Oh, right? Okay.
And also the commute to go from his work, my school, and where we were living at the time. Like his work and my school were in the same municipality of Langley,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and
That's a long
we were
drive.
living in Abbotsford.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that is a minimum, like highway speeds, 45-minute drive. When you're dealing with a whole shit ton of other Vancouver Canucks fan trying to make it home at the exact same time,
Yeah.
that turns into an easy hour and a half.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then even back then to try and go to a game, it was probably a couple $100 for a ticket when a couple $100 was a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, no. So but we didn't miss a single Vancouver Canucks game, and Lord help you, the Canucks made it to Game 7 every single fucking round of that
Jesus.
series.
That's a lot of goddamn hockey.
Yeah.
Like really, it's almost too much.
The advertisers were having a fucking heyday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's nothing like the 2011 riots that happened.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
yeah, that was rough, but
were you in Vancouver at the time?
2011? No, I was in Prince George.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to Prince George in 2004.
Yeah. But it's like it's a big black eye for not only hockey but like the city. It's like I think
riots were happening in Vancouver before that. Like my first radio job, which was 2002, I can honestly say that that's the first riot I can vividly remember. And of all things, that riot was caused by Axl Rose. Seriously.
in 2002?
2002.
Why?
So
I'm trying to think of like the timeline for that.
So Guns N' Roses had broken up, right?
Yes.
And then Axl Rose, who owned the rights to GNR, decided to start up Guns N' Roses again, but with a completely new crew. One of them being this phenomenal guitarist by the name of Buckethead. Anyway, they announced a tour, and the first stop in this tour was GM Place in Vancouver. And I was working for AM 730 Mojo Radio at the time, sister station to 99.3 The Fox, which is a great station still in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was the night of the concert. I was offered tickets to go to the concert because I worked for the station that was promoting the fucking concert.
Yeah.
As I was leaving the radio station, I get a phone call from the on-site Fox crew who were like there to rah GNR, and they said, they said, don't come. I'm like, why not? He goes, we just got word from the tour manager. We're packing up our shit now. Everyone's here except for Axl Rose.
Oh my God. You know what? Now that you're talking about it, I'm starting to remember this shit.
Yeah. Axl Rose wasn't even in Canada, let alone Vancouver. And it was the day, the night, like the hour of the concert. And then word got around and the fucking riot happened.
That's, you know, that's not the first time Guns N' Roses have started a riot, though.
No, it's not.
Like when they did that tour with Metallica in '93, I think it was '93. That massive stadium tour, and in Montreal, like Axl just didn't show up. So Metallica ended up playing like 3.5 hours or something, and then the people in Montreal wanted to see Guns N' Roses. Ended up just tearing the city apart.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. Like tearing up your own city over shit like that. But in the same respect, there was a riot in Saskatoon when the Blue Jays won in 1992.
What?
Details are sketchy. I was 11 at the time. Apparently, my brother-in-law was there. It was. I mean, it was a big thing, right? You know, like, but rioting's weird, man. Like, but
I don't get it either.
But you know, like,
especially over like being upset over something that has been canceled last minute. I can kind of sort of understand, especially when there's like zero excuse.
Yeah,
like. When Red Hot Chili Peppers had to take to the stage minutes before they were supposed to go up and say, look, we have to cancel. Something's wrong with Anthony Kiedis. He is currently in the hospital. We are so sorry. Everyone was like, yeah, cool. And they fucking walked away. That's fine. But Axl Rose just no showing.
That's
Yeah.
that's pretty indicative of him though. Like that's his MO, and it has been for years. I think he's better now,
Oh yeah.
but that falling off, like after the Chinese democracy shit, But
Yeah.
I do fully believe though that if the Leafs end up getting into the final and say lose, Toronto's gonna be on fire, guaranteed. Because that city's been waiting so fucking long for a hockey championship. Yeah, the Jays have won a couple times and the Raptors won, but that's not the same in Canada. It's not.
No, God no.
Like, it's gonna be, it'll be a bloodbath, honestly.
Which is unfortunate. I mean,
well, like, you even look at what was happening after they won the first round and got out of the first round, and it's like people, like, they weren't rioting and shit, but they were celebrating in the streets of downtown Toronto. And it like almost like they almost won the cup. And it's like lots of people out of their hockey teams are like, oh, they won a round, like, why are you celebrating? So it's just because it was so cathartic for a city like that that's had that, demon on their back for how many years.
This is true.
Yeah.
It still is unfortunate too. Like it was 2 Super Bowls ago where the Cincinnati Bengals made it to the Super Bowl and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some questionable plays, but my thought is always if the final score comes down to like just the tiniest of margins, then that means that all the way back there was opportunities that were missed.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a couple of guys that we know who live in Ohio who are lifetime Bengals fans were just fucking downtrodden and depressed. I'm like, look at the upside. Your team now has a great record. They had an incredible season. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Financially, this is a bonus for them.
Yeah.
Setting them up for an even stronger year next year, right? But at the same time, like, I get that loss.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I remember when, like, the Riders lost in 2010, and, like, I was mad. But I wasn't like, I'm going to flip over a cop car mad. Like,
I'm going to throw a Molotov cocktail into a La Senza.
I mean, I've had worse ideas, but... Yeah.
There is a town that we can segue into this. There is a small town that just actually had a parade because they came out of a 15-year drought.
I was just going to segue into that exact same thing, and you did it way more eloquently than I would have.
Yeah.
So a couple on my YouTube feed, I follow Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
The dude's hilarious, right?
Yes.
Like everything, like we've talked about him before. So I got a notification, a couple days ago that, like him and his football, well, soccer, we'll call it football because that's what they call it. Yeah. Their football team, got promoted. And I'm like, so I watched it. It's like, okay, like, and I watched the on-field celebration and shit. Like, this is interesting. Like it's like, and I had heard about like this Welcome to Wrexham before, like about a year ago. It's like, like, what is this? Like, what is it on? It's like, do I have to watch this? Like, then, like, and then I saw,
yes, you did have to watch it.
Then I started, I watched a couple of YouTube videos about like them winning this championship. I'm like, you know what? I got some time, and I looked, and it's on Disney Plus. I'm like, I have Disney Plus. Yeah. I started watching it. I watched like 8 episodes in one night.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Like, it was that good. Like, and, like you and I have talked about this in chats before. It's like going into it, I thought 100% it was going to be this Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney. Like, it's just going to be they're on camera all the time, cameras on their face, and then there's the football game behind them.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. Like, there's some episodes where they weren't even in it, or, like they're in it just such a, like a small, like minuscule part that it just made the show like really, it was captivating. And it reminded me of like some like living as a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan, like through the dark ages, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why it hit home so hard for me, but like it was really well done.
Yeah. I think the like I was on this like the same boat as you. Like I think the YouTube videos that they did where they were doing like play-by-play voiceover over the Wrexham football team playing, it did the Disney Plus series a disservice because it made it seem as though they were spoofing on this football team
Yeah.
when the story behind Wrexham and
Yeah.
the Red Dragons is so much more compelling.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really interesting watch, and we've talked about this too. It's like, you know, like we have old stuff in Canada. We don't have old stuff like they have old stuff there.
No, God,
You know,
no.
like that, like
No.
even looking at that stadium that they play in, like the race course, it's like,
Yeah,
that's an old fucking stadium.
that is.
Yeah. So like
This-
I really enjoyed it though. So
Yeah. The story behind it, the race course, the team itself, the mismanagement for nearly 2 decades,
Yeah.
and then just on a whim, these two actors just like let's buy the place.
yeah.
Let's see what we can do to help out this community. And like the series was just so incredible. It's to the point where like I'm sure I spoke to you about Welcome to Wrexham, but one of my coworkers at the radio station, Darren Coogan, was the one like you should check this out on Disney Plus. And he's an avid football fan. Like the dude has more jerseys than I have shirts. Like he's into it.
I'm gonna make a caveat there.
Sure.
My problem with football jerseys is that like they have like the dumbest sponsorship shit all over them. Like even like the Wrexham team, it's like TikTok right across the front.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Like I know, like you know that like they're getting paid big money for this,
Yes.
but it's like they're just so ugly. Anyway, sorry,
I know,
I
but what-
had to interject that.
No. But like you and I are used to North American jerseys where it's
Yes.
the team logo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the team logo, and then you know, like it's like on NHL, like they have like the Leafs have like milk on their well, because they're sponsored by like Canadian milk producers, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and the teams have sponsorship, but it's not the same. Where I mean, let's be honest, the NHL is sponsored by TikTok as well, and some of the teams have TikTok on their helmets and shit. It's just it's a different way of doing it, I guess. Maybe they get more money for having like that on the front of their jersey, or sweater,
Probably.
or whatever they call it there, you know. But
Probably. And like I can see the appeal because it's front and center,
yeah,
right?
so I guess like they don't have any other place to put it. There's no helmets, you know. Like they have their name and their number on the back and nothing else. I think that's because so the ref can see it.
Yeah. And the sleeves are pretty short too.
Well, yeah.
So,
So there's no room for anything. So I guess that makes sense.
yeah.
Still
true.
dumb. Still dumb.
Yeah.
Still dumb.
It's still weird. It's like which team you're rooting for? Team TikTok.
But there's two team TikToks sometimes.
yeah. The red team TikTok.
Fuck. Yeah.
But so anyway, welcome to Rex.
Yeah. If you get a chance to like anybody listening, I mean, like check it out. Like even watch the first episode. It's it'll when they go through that racecourse stadium or like their facility and they start showing some of the shit that's in there, like their gym. Their gym is like I've seen.
I have a better gym than them in
Yeah.
my fucking apartment. I know.
It's like holy shit. But and now like going from where they were to where they are, I mean that's a big change. And they like actually and watching and following it a little bit more, they signed some pretty big name players, like former like you know like Premier League players that are playing for them now, and like guys like my age. I think their goalie is my age, so which I mean, whatever, right? It works.
No, the coach that they brought on and their star player Mullins, who has been proven to be he's the Wayne Gretzky, quite frankly. He is where the ball will be.
Yeah,
Which is why he scores so many bloody times.
yeah,
But yeah, that series was like season 1 of Welcome to Wrexham just made me thirsty for season 2. And then actually watching the team get promoted, become champions. I'll admit this to you and whoever's listening and Darren Coogan and no one else during my live radio show last weekend or whenever that championship game was. I was watching the Wrexham. I was watching the live feed
during your show. Nice.
during my show.
You know, we could have a whole topic about this another time. It's like, and we'll write this down. It's like what radio announcers actually do when they're not announcing.
Oh yeah,
That's
sure.
that's actually a good segue for another thing. We'll talk about another time.
Sure.
I do have a different segue about this though.
Okay.
So Ryan Reynolds is also part of a bid to buy the Ottawa Senators.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, like $1 billion bid to buy the team and their stadium. I can't remember, or to build a new stadium. Because apparently, I was a buddy at work. He's actually an avid Senators fan. Their stadium isn't in Ottawa. It's in like Canada or something. Like it's quite a ways down the road. It's like an hour outside of Ottawa. The stadium
seems rather odd.
Yeah. So what they want to do with this bid is like you'll buy the team and you'll build this new stadium. So from what I've read, yeah, like it's over $1 billion for this bid. But in the last day or two, there's been another announcement, is that Snoop Dogg is heading a bid to also buy the Ottawa Senators.
In with Ryan Reynolds or against Ryan Reynolds?
A different conglomeration, because like Ryan Reynolds doesn't have $1 billion, right? Probably
It's actually kind of surprising, but okay.
Green Lantern. That's why he doesn't have $1 billion. But I mean, like, let's be like to have $1 billion in capital, like that's you're not gonna. You probably wouldn't have that. So it'll be interesting coming up here, like in the next little bit to see what happens. Like, I mean, I'd like to see Ryan Reynolds buy it, but at the same time, like. You know there'd be some pretty interesting theme nights if Snoop Dogg owned that fucking team.
This is true. That would be a completely different dynamic. That's for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting coming up. Like I don't know when this is all finishing or what's happening, but it's probably in the next little bit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like anything else. Like is there tenders that you got to put in, or like I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Well, the Senators are not doing much right now, so.
No, they are not. They might, you know what? They might have to wait until the actual season's done, like when everything's all said and done before ownership. Like, well, I don't know though. Like
it's it'd be interesting to figure out, because like it's not like we're dealing with free agents and players and staff and stuff like that. We're talking about ownership.
Yeah. But you would think that they want to get that shit done like ASAP before the next season starts, if that's what's going to happen, right?
You'd think, yeah.
Anyways, so we lost a couple famous people over the last week or two, or since we did the last one. Anyways, Jerry Springer died,
which is interesting.
I don't know how I feel about it. You know, like like especially like people our age. It wasn't a big thing, but like everybody knew about Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, no, like, he made a worldwide name for himself.
Yeah. It was just trashy though, right? Like just a shitty, like just looking back at it now, it's like, I don't know. Daytime TV.
Do you think it was like that was like not necessarily the seed, but definitely the main roots of the trash reality TV that we know of today?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I I don't know though, because I mean that would have had to come from someplace else too, but like that was Geraldo or Geraldo, whatever his fucking, like he had those shows in the 80s and like that Donahue and you know, like those they weren't as trashy, but like that's the way they were leaning.
Yeah.
So
there was Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones,
Maury Povich.
Maury Povich wasn't as insane, and he definitely found his niche with You Are the Father.
Yeah.
But like those first three were like definitely the front runners when it came to this is bullshit.
Yeah, it's
Like it was either a Jenny Jones or a Ricky Lake episode where there was these four or five guys who went on to the show saying they're frustrated in the fact that everyone keeps thinking they look like the characters from South Park. These are fucking adults. Like, take off the toque, take off the sweater,
boy, yeah.
get on with your life.
But yeah, like,
And then there was what was that? There was that one spoof talk show. It was like Dirk Diggler or something.
Dirk Diggler was a porn star in the fuck movie was
Okay.
that? Yeah, I don't think it was Dirk Diggler.
Anyway, Jerry Springer passed away.
Yeah.
I didn't know that in the 70s, for a single year, he was actually a mayor of a town in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that like in those years ago, but like to go from being a mayor to like hosting your own trash reality show, not reality, like trash talk show, proves that you can pretty much do anything you want in the United States of America.
It's true.
Yeah. So the other guy that died was a little more sad. Was Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, and I used to have this long running joke when I worked for the oldie station that we had to figure out a way how to preserve and encrypt and document the human brain, because the records of the first, second, and third Juno Award ceremonies are scattered at best, but Gordon Lightfoot was at those ceremonies.
Shit. Yeah.
And he's the only one that truly knows what happened. So
That's messed up, actually.
dude, yeah, Gordon Lightfoot is like a living. He was a living history document.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Canadian music.
Like, if you look at like the lyrics for the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald,
Yeah,
like that's like a book. Like, it's very wordy. Like, my band one of my bands covers the Headstones version of that song, and our singer has to have the lyrics up with him because there's no rhyming structure. It's just like this fucking paragraph of words, and
it's like that. Was it the Beatles tune Rocky Raccoon? Like,
yeah,
there's a little bit of lyrics in it. The rest of it's a fucking story.
yeah, exactly. And so not heroism. I really like people that like how I got into podcasting was listening to the Taggart and Torrance podcast, and they fucking ripped on Gordon Lightfoot for years because one of them does a really good Gord Lightfoot impression. So like they do skits and stuff, and they're like Gord just in these weird situations, like Gord talking, like living across the street from Drake, and like just these whole ridiculous things. Actually, like if you listen to the Taggart and Torrance album Bods, whatever, there's a couple songs where he's definitely referenced in these. So
Okay.
well, they have a whole song. See if I can find it. Just keep talking there while I find this.
Sure. An interesting thing is that there was that weird movie Michael Myers starred in. It was about a disco club that was like trying their best to survive or whatever. And part of the soundtrack was a group that was slapped together called Stars on 54.
Yeah.
They had a song, and it was a cover of Gordon Lightfoot, and it was If You Could Read My Mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it charted.
Yeah, it was a decent remix actually.
Yeah.
If pick up this album or go on Spotify and look up this album, Taggart and Torrance Bods. If you want to hear a rip on Gordon Lightfoot, listen to the song called The Score.
The Score.
The Score, and like all that, like there's a whole bunch of songs I'm adding to the Found Signals playlist today, so and I'll add that one too.
Okay.
But it's the song it's almost like he's talking like it's Gordon Lightfoot rapping. But it's
God.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's
Okay.
I, and they even made a video for it.
Oh, of course they would.
Yeah, but it's like with sock puppets
Oh my God.
or like puppets or something. It's hilarious. Like, it's a couple years old now, but like, it's it's good shit. So let's check that out. But
Oh my God.
yeah. We were talking, like, or you made a segue last episode about what not to do when you're getting a hold of a radio station for contests. And you alluded, like, you had some more stories about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, you know, no matter where you are, no matter what city you or town or whatever you may live in, chances are there's a local radio station. And we live in a world where we have the technology where I actually just brought it up right now. I'm connected to 5 different radio stations text lines.
Yeah.
And from my own home computer, this is my home studio. I can see who texted. I can I can reply. I can go through history, whatever. And so there's plenty of times where someone will get a little too comfortable, or they'll get a little too mouthy, or maybe a case of day drinking, or maybe they're just batshit crazy. I don't know, but their radio stations will do contests on different platforms. Sometimes it's a cue to call in. Sometimes it's a social media, like respond to Facebook, and we'll pick one at random. And sometimes it'll be text in your answer.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you piss off anyone at a radio station, if you call them names, if you insult them, if you go on a conspiracy theory rant, or if you spam a text line, we can block you.
And for good reason, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I've referenced this as, like, how to not win anything at a radio station is because during that contest of, like, text in the blah 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 and you could win blah 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 blah, and it was about a month ago, I gave away 2 sets of tickets to Megadeth.
Yeah.
And it was a text in contest. And so I did the execution. I said, text now at 250 blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I will throw your name into the draw. So all these people texted in. I had like over 50 within the first 10 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yep.
So I after an hour, I collected everyone, and then I did the draw, and then 2 people won a pair of tickets to go see Megadeth each, type thing.
Nice.
And so just out of curiosity, I go to the blocked page, and I can even still see it right now. There is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people that tried,
but they were blocked.
because they were blocked, and I can see the reason why they were blocked because we make notes. They weren't even in the running.
So what are some of the reasons there? I mean, like, without getting too, like, not like get like that we're like gonna witch hunt these people or anything, but what are these people like blocked for?
Prime example, Desiree, who fancies herself to be an aspiring radio personality, or at least a producer, has had this habit, and still has this habit, of texting in useless information. And I mean absolutely useless. Like, I'm scrolling through it right now, and here's a video from Linkin Park. Here's a video from Motley Crue. Here's 4 GIFs in a row of Motley Crue. Here's a video for Europe, Final Countdown. Here's a video for Europe, Carrie. Here's a video for Europe, Rock the Night. These are all within the same minute.
Really? What? Like, holy shit! Like, oh man, Okay, so that kind of reminds me, and it's not the same thing, but like back when we were in BOG, like the Bitter Old Goons gaming group we were in.
Yeah.
And like when we were streaming like a lot, we had that sort of shit sort of happen in some of our chats.
Oh yeah.
Like, we'd have like these weird people show up and just like say dumb shit, and like just like, what do you do? Like, why? Like, why? What possesses you to message like any sort of, call it a media group? I mean, I'm not a media group, But you know what I mean? Like, but any sort of channel like that, like, why would you want to do that sort of shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Is it mental illness, maybe?
Possibly, I don't know. But this person had been warned, and I can see everything. This person had been warned, like, please stop doing this. This is useless information.
Yeah.
Stop spamming our text line. Thank you, but we already know our address and our phone number. Like, it's just like this person is,
well, delusional, probably.
Yeah, a little bit, right. Another example, same radio station. This is for a new rock, classic rock radio station. Started playing Ozzy Osbourne with Eric Clapton one of those days.
Okay.
And it's off of the Patient #9 album.
Well, the new one, I think.
The new one.
I haven't listened to it.
So the backstory behind the song, and I had to look into it, was Ozzy Osbourne who wrote the lyrics, who asked Eric Clapton to provide the guitar for the song.
Okay.
The song is from someone who is struggling with their faith. And because of the situation and the state of the world and his surroundings, and clearly this was around the pandemic, right?
Okay.
So it's questioning their faith, non-specifically, but definitely directed towards Christianity.
Okay.
Here's the kicker. Eric Clapton, devout Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only way that Eric Clapton was able to agree to do this was if the lyrics was on point but generic enough that it wasn't an attack on Christianity. This person by the name, sorry?
I get it. But yeah.
This person by the name of Sean went on a bloody tirade and demanded to be given some airtime to defend Jesus, and then had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 other people or spoof phone numbers or whatever all text in within a quick estimation 10-minute span saying, let Sean defend Jesus. Why? All texted the exact same thing.
Why?
And then this Sean person continued to go on and berate the on-air host, which wasn't me. It was actually the host on before me. But berate this on-air host. And then proceeded to try to request some of the most hateful songs that I had to go look up. Like, why is he requesting, oh, Jesus, that is a horrid song. And thinking to myself, like, what is this man of God doing with this automatic library of these like hateful, spiteful songs, like just what rattling around in his head?
What kind of songs?
Oh, let me find them.
Because that I mean that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Cowardly act. You should give me an opportunity to defend my savior against your radio station for playing this song. I'm not going away. And now I'm going to ask you to be involved. We could have talked. Oh, you have a headache. You say I have a headache on air. This means I'm getting to you. Like,
holy shit, man.
Okay. Where's the list he put out there?
Like, that's just
Tom McDonald, Brainwashed. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. Trying to find the other ones here. Load all messages. He went on. Oh, Tom McDonald, Brainwashed, Money for Nothing, Dire Straits.
What's wrong with Dire Straits?
The original version of Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, made reference to a homosexual person with the F slur.
Right.
Yeah. The original version. The radio stations now play the edited version. Anyway, I can't find the rest of the songs.
Yeah,
but
it's not really that important. I was more curious than anything. But yeah, like people like that should maybe not do that sort of thing. You know, like it's just Maybe your crazy pants are showing. Maybe
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
maybe you should put the phone down for a bit and maybe go talk to Jesus, because it sounds like you need them.
Like, it's pretty bad when like an audiophile like myself, who prides himself on knowing a lot about radio, um, and music, had to go look up songs.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
I mean, I listened to some stuff that would never, ever, ever, ever be played on the radio. But like, I would never go and request it. Though I did when I was a kid. So
Because you could.
because I could. So back
Yeah.
in the day, you know, in the 90s, you know, like there was a radio station in Prince Albert, and me and a buddy, we were like, you know, 14, 15 years old. We would we would phone into this radio station and request like, "Hey, can you play like Dead Skin Mask by Slayer?" We're like, "Yeah, you know, sorry, that's a little too edgy for us." You know, like we'd request all these weird
Yeah.
Slayer songs. You're like, yeah. But that was back in the day when it was just phone calls, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was way before texting. Yeah. Just to quickly wrap up, another case is so I've been working for the same radio station for 6 years and change.
Yep.
And we've gone through a name change and a format adjustment. We used to be known as 99.3 The Drive. We're now known as 99.3 Rewind Radio. We play less hard rock. We play more classic rock, and we play more classic pop.
Okay.
Now, when you think classic pop, you think to yourself like, "Oh Jesus, Ariana Grande and Christina Aguilera." No,
No.
It's more along the line of like, Filter, Take a Picture.
Oh.
I didn't make the category. It's just where it falls. Anyway,
Like when you said classic pop, I was thinking like 80s fucking like synth pop, like, you know, Belinda Carlisle and fucking
yeah,
like
yeah, Heaven is a Place
and-
on Earth. Yeah.
like the Cars and like Gary Newman and shit like that, but not like, no, I guess Gary Newman only had one song. Anyways, sorry, tangents.
No,
again.
no, and you're on the right track too, right? So anyway, there's this one person who had been texting in for a while who was a fan of 99.3 The Drive. But as soon as the switch happened, and then a couple months later, our most senior personality, with all the respect and honor in the world, decided, you know what? Now's a good time to bow out. I have had a successful career. I am late in my 60s. I'm going to retire. And he did it on his own terms. Anyway, this person had been texting in for months saying The Drive was better. Go back to The Drive. The Drive was better. This is not real music. As I say before, The Drive is better. Bring back Doug. Bring back Doug. The Drive was better. Like that's
terrible.
all it was. It kind of like it makes me think like this person goes into a refurbished restaurant with brand new owners and says to the wait staff, "You know what? The old restaurant was better. Bring me that." Like, no, fuck you. Go to a different fucking restaurant.
Some people just can't take change, right? You know, like they're stuck in that little rut that they call their life, and they just do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So to wrap up this lesson, if you if you be careful what you say, because the radio station has every opportunity and every right to block your number from any sort of way of communicating, and that can exclude you from opportunities like those people who wanted to get Megadeth tickets but weren't even in the running because at one point or another they pissed someone off.
yeah, crazy pants.
Crazy pants.
Okay, shifting gears.
Sure.
You just recently watched all 10 episodes of Star Trek Picard in like 2 days, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I hammered through it.
That's a big undertaking. I mean, that's probably 8 solid hours. I guess that's not that big of an undertaking. We were going to talk about this last week or last episode, but you hadn't watched it yet, and Lee hasn't watched it. So it was probably the best Star Trek I've watched ever.
Yeah.
I'm guessing season 3 of Star Trek Picard was a proper final send off to the crew of the Next Generation.
Absolutely.
Like it was the proper swan song, you know, like to see them move on, you know, like they told the story right from start to finish. They like they even brought back characters that, you know, people thought were dead twice. Like Data died twice.
Data died. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
He died in Star Trek Nemesis, and then he died again in the first episode or the first season of Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
And so they brought him back with TV magic, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was so well done. Like I'm such a Star Trek nerd when it comes to this shit. Like I've seen pretty much every episode of every series from like I know I'm missing some episodes from like the original series. I know I'm missing some from Enterprise and some of the newer runs I'm missing. But like I was waiting like for this to drop like every week because I hate when they do this now.
Yeah.
But it made me, you know, want to watch it more because you had to watch it like you can only watch one episode a week.
Yes.
Like I've rewatched that last episode like
it was brilliant.
like 7 or 8 times now because of how good it was.
Yeah, I've already rewatched that last episode a handful of times as well. Yeah.
Like so you know, I don't care. This full spoilers ahead. If you want to skip ahead, fine, but I don't care. I want to talk about this.
Sure.
So, Star Trek Generations. They destroy the Enterprise D. They fuck it up. They drop the fucking, as Captain Shaw said, they hot dropped the saucer section of the Enterprise D on some planet.
Yeah.
They fucking brought the saucer section back and they rebuilt the Enterprise D. So like, which was amazing. Yeah. Like when they showed that original bridge again, like compared to all of like the new and the flashy and dark.
Yeah, dark being the key word. Right? Yeah.
You know, and then they show this well lit, clean, carpeted bridge of the classic, you know, 1980s and 90s Enterprise. It's like it was like a warm hug from a friend you haven't seen in a long time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, like it was so well done. Like old characters and new characters alike, you know, like, and apparently there's a bunch of characters that they wanted to have in the show, but like budget and time constraints didn't allow, which sucks because, you know, like you kind of wanted this to just be like Paramount, just throw as much money as this at this as you want.
Just take it. Yeah.
They would have made it all back, I'm guessing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But like I was sad that it was over, but I'm at the same time, I'm glad that it happened because you got to see, you know, like Riker and, you know, like, and Troy and Worf being the badass, you know, like, and he reminded me of like the old Kung Fu masters, you know, like the long white hair, the white beard.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the lifestyle he was living now. And then he's like, there's one scene in the last episode. He's like, he gets shot and I can't remember the name, but he had this Klingon sword and, he drops it because like, well, he got shot and Riker goes to pick it up and he's like, holy shit, this is heavy. Like it was like a sword that was probably, you know, like say like 2.5 feet long. Riker picks it up. He's like, it's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And Worf is like in the hilt and there's a phaser in there. And so Riker kills these Borg. And then he looks at Worf. He's like, you've had this in this sword this whole time. Why didn't you shoot him before? He's like, because swords are fun. Like, like real, like that's the fucking best line I've ever heard in a Star Trek episode.
No, absolutely.
What I loved about the whole series now, like especially this third season, is that there was proper jokes put into it.
Yes.
You know, like, and just like even just little one-liners here and there, like just and like little cuts and just like it was so well done.
Worf, when they're like going down to the Borg cube to try to find Jack, and and Picard says, "I'm going," and Riker goes, "I'm going with you," and then Worf stands up and goes, "And I will make it a threesome." And Riker turns around and goes, "Do you hear yourself?"
Like it's little shit like that. Those little like quick little one-liners that just like made me giggle the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
No, it was good. I love like looking back and going in blind, but looking back and like the reference that Geordie's daughter made in like in episode 4 of like, Dad, what about what's in Bay 12? And he's like, not now.
yeah.
And then you go, it's like, oh shit, that's what was in Bay 12.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was awesome. And so there's a scene when they're sitting at the I can't remember the name of the space dock there, like the museum.
Yeah.
Or I think it was just called the Fleet Museum. It doesn't matter. But Jack Crusher is sitting on the bridge with Seven of Nine, and they're looking through all the old ships. And the Defiant was there, and like the New Jersey, and like Captain Kirk's old ship, like the Enterprise A. And then they show Voyager on there. It's like, and I'm getting tears in my eyes. I know I'm a nerd. Okay, we've talked about this.
I'm with you, 100%.
But it's like, and they show Voyager. Like Voyager was one of my favorite Star Trek shows.
Yeah,
I don't know why, it just was. But like to see it on screen and have her, it just it was good. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
So no, go ahead.
No, absolutely. Like, that was the beautiful thing about like, okay, so they brought back, they went like Picard season 1, kind of like, all right, we'll give you what we think you want. We'll kind of test the waters, and then
it was
season 2.
It was okay.
Yeah, season 2 was your typical like, all right, we're gonna shake things up, and what's the easiest way to shake things up? Here's Q
and time travel.
And time travel. And then season 3 was like, all right, we have a definitive idea of what we want. We have a definitive idea of what the audience wants. Even if they don't know what's coming, we're going to hit you with everything that you have been hoping for.
Including Q.
Yeah.
And the post-credit scene is like, yeah. So if you're a Star Trek nerd.
Yeah. Jerry Ryan has gone on record to say like, this Star Trek Legacy, which is like, it hasn't even been greenlit yet, but she's like, this, like, yeah, I'd be up for it 100%. Like, I want to see Captain Seven do this.
With that, like with Jack Crusher and Rafi and that crew, I think it would have to have LaForge's daughter as
100%.
Like they would just, and now that they set it up that way, they could have cameos here and there with some of like the old crew here and there. And like, it doesn't have to be all the time, like, but there's also a lot of other characters that they could bring in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Janeway, which I really wish they would have brought her in for that. But yeah, go watch it.
I just, if and when it'll be like one cameo, and it'll be, I haven't been promoted yet, Ensign Kim.
Yeah, like I'm on the Star Trek subreddit, and that's like, there was a watch thread, and people are saying, like, oh yeah, if Kim shows up, he's still gonna be an ensign. It's like the running joke that yeah. So I'm going to Portland on the weekend.
Right.
Fly out on Sunday, and then I'm driving home.
Right.
I don't know how to feel about this yet. I mean, it's going to be a great time, and it's going to be fun. I just, I've never driven across the continental U.S. before. So I guess not really across. It's only like, like the northwest part of it. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting trip, I'm guessing.
It should be good.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah,
just don't expect an episode anytime in the immediate
especially
future.
Not for the next week. So I'm going to my niece is in school there, so I'm flying out there and then we're driving her home. Right. Another story from a family member though is that my nephew and actually my godson was just in Rome and stole me a piece of the Roman Colosseum.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just a rock, and he might have just found it on the ground, but knowing him, he didn't.
Daryl won't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually Hudson watches this, so he's getting a shout out now. And so he also bought me this fucking cool skull.
That is pretty damn
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks, Hudson. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So we put up a couple YouTube shorts in the last little bit. Well, like more than JD has posted some YouTube shorts because I am bad at editing. So,
And editing is what I do.
yeah, so that's why he's here. So yeah, no, and you know, like thanks to the people like that watched and you know like and liked it and you know got that engagement. You know, we really appreciate it. You can find us on YouTube at. I think it's actually at we don't have enough subscribers to have our name saved yet. Or do we?
Oh, okay.
No, I think doesn't matter. But yeah, we you can follow us on Instagram. No, we're not on Instagram yet. I don't have an Instagram page for this yet. I should.
Well, I do.
But you do.
You should.
Should. Twitter, Lost Signals Pod. I mean, we're not done yet. I got some other stuff to talk about yet, but no, but like the traction on the YouTube Shorts was good. You know, we got some good views, got some good feedback from people. So yeah, we'll keep doing that sort of thing. I'm sure there's some clips from this fucking episode that'll be.
Oh, I've already bookmarked a few.
I figured as much. Yeah, it's dumb conversations.
No, but we do appreciate the at least the attention and the peak, right? Like we have fun doing this, and you know we try to be as consistent as possible. Sometimes we aren't, but
Yeah.
we're doing this for fun, and we do this because we enjoy it. So yeah.
So what are you listening to this week? I have 4 songs to add, so
Well, since you're crowding, how about you start?
okay. So the first one is actually okay. So and this goes into another topic that I wanted to get into a little more, but we can just do it short here. Actually, the title of this episode is going to be "Rescued," and it's the new Foo Fighters song. And they announced a new album, which I'm not torn by it. I'm really glad that they're doing it. Some people may say that it's early. I mean, it's only been just over a year since Taylor Hawkins passed, but Dave Grohl is the type of person that he needs to do that. So
Considering his past,
yeah,
fucking let him do what he wants.
yeah, and the last year or so for him, he lost his mom and Taylor Hawkins, and you know, and another friend. I think I saw on his Instagram or something. If making music is what he needs to do, fucking go right at it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm under the impression that he played drums on this album, which would make 100% sense instead of bringing somebody else in. So, Rescued, Foo Fighters, great song. I've listened to it a bunch. Not the exact vibe I was expecting, but it was very similar to like their newer stuff that they put out. So
Yeah. Off the album, but here we are, and it's going to be released to the public on June the 2nd.
it's quick actually.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah. What's your first one?
Well, I'm going to go with Foo Fighters, but at a happier time. Remember when they went disco?
Yeah. Yeah.
The DGs, You Should Be Dancing, which I think it's a fun jam. It is clearly just the Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins included, just having a blast.
Wasn't that a cover though? Like, isn't that like a whole cover band? Yeah, it's good. It's
It's
ABBA,
absolutely
right?
a cover band.
Is
Yeah.
it ABBA or is that
Bee Gees.
Bee Gees, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and Dave Grohl has gone on record to say that a majority of his drum riffs, including the drum riffs in Nirvana, he ripped off from disco.
Yeah. I watched that interview too. Yeah. I think that was with Pharrell Williams.
Pharrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good interview actually. The second one I'm going to add is a song from a band that I'm surprised I haven't put on here before, but it's a Slayer song.
Oh,
I'm sure I haven't put a Slayer song on this playlist yet.
No, you have. You put one on, South of Heaven.
Oh, yes, and that was recent. So,
Yes.
okay, anyways, but like I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day and we were talking about old Slayer albums and like there's some really underrated stuff. Like stuff that they never even played live. But there's a song Diabolus in Musica came out in 98. So like right in my formative years of listening to metal music, and there's a song called In the Name of God. And it's, you know, like when you were talking about before with your songs that would never get played on the radio. This is one of them. At the end of the song, it's Tom Araya, their singer, screaming "Antichrist is the name of God." So, I like, yeah, but that brings up a whole other can of worms because Tom Araya is a devout Roman Catholic
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
That's a
was
fun
the
thing.
singer of of Slayer with
Yeah.
like anti-Christian messages, left, right, and center.
No, they understood the business.
Oh yeah, 100%. What's your second one?
So in the thread of Star Trek Picard, after watching all of the third season, I stumbled across that YouTube video that you stumbled across.
Yeah.
And someone had mixed the final Enterprise D taking on the Borg cube with Beastie Boys Sabotage, and it just reminded me of how fucking awesome that song is.
Yeah.
So it's Beastie Boys and Sabotage.
Yeah, I figured that was gonna be it. And so they actually, like, that song was featured in the 2009 Star Trek movie.
Yeah, the
With-
last one of that. Yeah.
No, the first one
Into-
of the first one within the Calvin timeline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. I think that was when young Captain Kirk or young Kirk stole that car and just about ran it off the edge of a cliff or something.
Oh, yeah, that floating Corvette.
Yeah. Yeah. So my last two, well,
Sure.
okay, so one is going to be the score by Taggart and Torrens. I'll add that onto this list. But the last one is going to be Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh, nice.
It's a great song. It's
Yeah,
about,
absolutely.
Like, I think it's about his wife or like his girlfriend stepping out on him or some shit like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Something
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's definitely some shady shit going on in that episode. So it's a great song. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
If you're interested in any of these songs or interested in the songs we just added, you can easily find the playlist on Spotify called Found Signals, a Lost Signals playlist.
Yes. Yeah, and there's getting to be, I'm just going to look this up. Where is it? God damn it.
130.
130 songs. We've added 130 songs to this fucking playlist, but over the last 2 years.
Yes.
Actually, we missed our 2-year anniversary of doing this.
Oh.
I don't even remember when we did it. So,
Well, you know what?
we
Now that we let the cat out of the bag, that's why Lee is on assignment. He's getting cake.
an erotic cake.
An erotic cake.
Yes. Anyways, this has been episode 46 of Lost Signals. My name is Daryl.
I'm JD.
We'll see you guys out there.
You bet. TheLostSignals.ca.
Yeah, no, lostsignals.ca. Just Lost Signals. Come on, figure it out. How long have we done this?